Hello everybody, welcome to Indigo Tarot Odyssey. How is everybody? Today's reading is going to be any special messages from angel and spirit meant to inspire you, live your best life, lift you to your highest vibration, get you focused and ready for the day in a way that says, I don't need complication in life. I don't need to be distracted or harried or worried. I'm just going to kind of lift that cloak of perceived whatever ineptitude, misdirection, whatever. It's simply not true. That's just our crazy ego or other people chiming in, and it deters us from living this light, simple life. Oftentimes I do that for myself. I'll just simply grab my coffee and go out in the garden and sit in a chair. That's it. I'm not looking at anything laying around my house that distracts me, needs cleaning, bills, animals, things that any of that responsibilities. It's like I'm clearing my mind and I'm setting my intention for the day to bring in light, vibrancy, love, clarity, and it also helps me to channel and connect to my highest self because I only hear birds. So right away, you guys, I feel within this read too, it really is time to break away from our regular routines and have some new things, seek new opinions, be willing to fail, encourage others to collect ideas and inspiration while we're doing it, think outside the proverbial box, carry our journal and pen around, laugh. I'm always looking for things that make me laugh. It lifts my energy and it makes me feel good. I'm continually doing that. Goofy, silly things. You guys know if you have animals or young children, they're constantly a source of humor, right? It's awesome. They get up to things and it's really fun, and that's what makes life silly. Okay, so here's our three choices. Number one is imagine. What would you see, feel, think, and hear if your wish came true? I'll ask myself this, and it actually gets us in that beautiful energetic state of receiving, right? What do I really want? Like, I'll start to create something. I'll think, okay, I want to paint today. So I'll start to think, okay, my acrylics are here. This is going on. All of a sudden, I start to see in colors and images, and my energy starts to raise immediately. I get excited about creating things. Food sometimes, or I'm going to make a shrimp scampi. I'm going to make this, and I get all excited. I can already taste the food. Whatever it is, start to imagine it because your focus starts to go there, right? And then you have an intention to really make and create this. So you start taking, decisive steps towards doing that. You make sure you have your resources, your tools, so on and so forth. What would it feel like? That's what we need to immerse ourselves in that energy and how awesome it would be, right? Number two is one step at a time. Lots of little steps make big dreams come true. This is the biggest thing that I had to teach myself while I was traversing the waters of YouTube and becoming my own channel and basically producing all of my own things on my own, my time, being discerning with my time, my professionalism, all of that. And I realized right away, you're not going to have 10,000, 20,000 subscribers and viewers. You build it one brick at a time. And you never, ever, I always acted like a million people were going to see each video. I let everything come natural. I didn't want anything overstaged. And I definitely never like anything. I can tell when I watch things on TV, if they're super rehearsed or written down or whatever, or somebody's reading from a playbook and it's not spontaneous, I can tell. I'm very lucky in that, the words and the messages just come and they flow. I was very lucky in that because I do realize some people hit creative glitches. I have as yet to experience that. So I'm very lucky within that. But again, one step at a time. On my first day, I actually had somebody say, can you teach me to do what you're doing? And I thought, that's awesome because now I can bring somebody along on the journey and, teach myself as well. And it was really nice. So just know that it's that one little step. Remember to celebrate those wins as well, group 2. And number 3 is happy thoughts. Super important to feel happier right now. Think about a memory or something else that makes you smile. 100%. Mine immediately puts me in nature. Probably my favorite place, Waveney Park, walking around, seeing the turtles, seeing the dragonflies, just the amazing fields filled with cattails, all of that. I feel good. I feel invigorated. So oftentimes if you're laying in bed in the morning and you're feeling a little uninspired and you might be feeling overwhelmed of tasks or things that you think you have to do, start to thinking of the things that you just did that you loved, that really inspired you and made you feel good. Because oftentimes we think, oh, well, that was then. It's not. We can recapture any of those moments and return to those places mentally and lift our energy. And it often gets us back on that train of thought to do the next best thing for ourselves because we want to return to that vibrant energy, right? So those are your choices, you guys. I am going to have a quick pause and let you make your decision. I'm going to have a sip of coffee and then we'll begin. All right. So right away, imagine. I feel this is really important oftentimes we create a routine for ourselves. We have the same thoughts. We wake up, oh, I have to do this, right? I have to feed the animals. I have to go to the school. I have to do that. Whatever. Let's say today I get to, I'm allowed to, I'm receiving, right? I'm receiving abundance. I'm receiving ideas. I never say I have to do anything if I can help it, because it has a stigma attached to it that I have no other choice. And I don't like that idea. Same thing where I don't like to say, I have to. I'll say I want to create, I want to go make a video. We can convince ourselves of anything. As I'm always talking about, our brain really doesn't care what we tell it, but it is hardwired to believe what we tell it. So why aren't we telling it good things? I want to make this. I want to go to work and get creative. I want to see my family. I want to create a beautiful meal for them, so on and so forth. So it's all about our perspective on this. And I'm going to use some of my fun, beautiful cards that I love. Sir Norval Munchington says, escape the ordinary. Absolutely. I have to do this. I do not like the mundane, and I do not like the same old, same old. I'll start to just feel like I'm on this gerbil wheel doing the same thing. I don't like that. I like variety. So if I've done something the day before and it didn't prove fulfilling or it didn't prove satisfying, I don't do that again. I'm not going to have it be a part of a pattern in my life. I just kick it off the menu, right? Now, when I go outside and I'm hearing all the birds and I'm cultivating all these great ideas because of that, that's something I want on the menu. That's something I want to recapture and keep reinviting. But I also like to do one or two things that I haven't done the day before or any other time, right? I will research some, writer, musician, whatever, and I will listen to them and I'll bring that in. Variety definitely is the spice of life. And I feel like with a lot of these, restrictions placed on us, a lot of people, they feel like their world got smaller, and that's no fun. Nobody likes that. Nobody likes restrictions, self-imposed or not. So now it's time to escape the ordinary. Do, express yourself in a new way. Try a new hairstyle, makeup style, whatever. Dressing differently. Start small. Things. I always feel like reading certain philosophers, and especially people that really make you feel intensely about writing. I love James Joyce, great poets. Just read a little something, things that make you think. And I definitely feel that's something that's going to be in your roster. And we're going to see what blessings are coming your way too. You have a blessing on your boundaries. You're really going to be able to say no when you want to say no. I'm not obligated to do anything for you or this company, that is not prior stipulated. A lot of people just feel that yes is the easier thing. It's going to make them more likable. It's going to smooth the path. That's not always true, because guess what? When you say yes, people all of a sudden feel more entitled to your time, your skills, or whatever, because you've said yes before. It makes saying no more difficult down the line, and then people can get attitude, right? If you've always lent out your clothes to all your friends and all of a sudden you're like, you know what? They're spilling stuff on it. I'd rather not do that. Then when you say no, they'd be like, what? You've never said no before. That's why you're going to be standing strong in this. Your time is valuable. Your resources are valuable. You are not the goodwill of your friends, the Goodwill store. A blessing on your creativity. I feel like your creativity is really going to soar and take off in terms of a lot of things, writing, dynamics, really be able to get ideas across, and whatever you're producing, people are really going to be excited about. Doesn't matter if it is just handcrafted items, if it is words, if it is expression, if it is jewelry, whatever it is, it's like people are going to be, wow, they're going to be enthralled by your technique and your style, because you're just letting it come forth. And I feel like too, when we don't monitor or try to be overcritical of what naturally comes in creative, we do our best work. Absolutely. If I feel inspired, like I'll just see a piece on in a magazine of jewelry and I'll be like, I really like that, and I'll pull up palettes, and then the colors inspire me to make something. I'll just pull out all my gear and start making right then, and that's when I often make my most beautiful works of art and pieces of jewelry. Like this ring, for instance, bloodstone. I was studying the properties and I absolutely loved it, and I was like, it has to be almost like medieval. It has to be like really stand up on a big setting. It's like I just get ideas, I get inspired. Oftentimes it is color palettes in nature and stuff. Big creative time for you. Let's see what else is coming up. Madam Saffron says the secret to happiness is the realization that life is a gift. Hallelujah. And I do this every morning when I wake up. I'm like, thank you, universe, for the fact that I have all my limbs and my hands work. I'm a creative. I really, really worship the fact that my hands work and can create things for me. And life is a gift. We never know. And I'm constantly reiterating this to myself if I feel like I'm wasting time or on anything worrying. I don't feel like relaxation is definitely not, if you're watching programs or TV or whatever, that's not a waste of time. What is a waste of time is worrying or having lack mentality or fretting or gossiping or doing low vibrational things or feeling sorry for ourselves. It's such a waste. The fact that we have a life is bonus number one. We never know how much time. Could be super long, could be super short. So why aren't we utilizing it to the best of our capacity and going, I oftentimes, if I'm really find I'm dragging or lagging, I will say, pretend you only get 24 more hours with these people. You wouldn't be in your room on your computer and looking at memes. You would be laughing, talking, cooking with your family, right? If I find that I just haven't really spent ample time with them. Same thing in terms of creating things. If I'm like, yeah, if I haven't touched any of my stuff in a couple of days, I'm like, just start to feel the materials, right? And the happiness that it's a gift that I even want to do these things. Because I feel one of life's biggest gaps and satisfactors are people that just have no notion of any kind of creativity whatsoever. Like they always have to go out and pleasure seek. They always have to go to restaurants. They always have to go to movies. They always have to be in crowds because they have no creative inclination. They don't want to plant a garden. They don't want to write anything down. They don't want to paint. They don't want to do anything because it's such a huge part of my life. I'm like, what would I do if my life was devoid of that, right? Like no imagination when it comes to creativity. You see that in the old days, like in the London, very wealthy homes. They just went from like gambling parlor to gambling parlor. They went from living room to just talking and gossiping around another, to opera shows, to just little entertainments because they lacked the kind of like natural zest to know that they were worthy of creating things, because it was like, oh, the working classes sell their paintings, oh, the working classes do these. It was always thought of like labor, and it was very bizarre because everybody was always bored, and they ended up being like lascivious and also like nasty and competitive and horrible, like in those days, right? It was just who had what influence. And this is about just you knowing that you are the master of your destiny, and the fact when you realize life is your gift, you live it differently, and you're going to start to be like, boom, I'm not squandering my time anymore. I'm going to really jump into this. And your last blessing is on a friendship. Quite a few of you guys have beautiful new kindred spirits that are coming into your life that just love you for who you are, the energy you give out, and not what you provide for them, and not anything that you can do for them. The fact that you are alive in your energy, and you're their cup of tea and they're yours, and this quick, easy relationship is going to be formed for quite a few people. I definitely see it coming down, and you deserve it. You deserve unconditional love and support, and it's coming for you, Group 1. So beautiful energy. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Don't forget to press like and subscribe. I love this so much. My name is Melanie. And hit the notification bell as well so you know when all the new videos come in. And come join me on Instagram, and you can get in on all the giveaways just by subscribing over here and following me over there. You're automatically entered as well. So that is you guys. And anything else, all my links are down there. And thank you guys for all your beautiful comments. They just make... they make my day. I read them all before I go to bed, and I just go to bed so happy. Yeah, and remember, you don't owe anybody anything. When you want to say no, you say no, thank you. That's not for me. I appreciate your consideration, but I'll opt out. So that is you guys. Beautiful. So now we're going to go on to number 2, one step at a time. Quick sip of coffee. It is so true that in our society now, everything is such immediate gratification that sometimes when it doesn't come, we're like, nope. And I've had a lot of clients that say this too, I've dipped my toe in the water of tarot and this and that, and nothing sticks. Nothing sticks because you have to have focus and follow through. If we do something for a day or two, how are we to know if we have a natural inclination, a gift, or a propensity to be excellent at it when we give up so easily and hop on? And society is kind of conducive to learn this, do that, hop over here, all over. There's so much distraction everywhere. But it's saying if you stick with something, say an exercise routine, the first day I'm going to just walk one block. It doesn't have to be anything, one loop around the park, whatever. And then celebrate that success. Write it down, journal it, and you'll see your steady increase how things are coming. I do this in terms of learning things because it's very important for me to learn about any new spiritual, holistic, psychological, all kinds of information on that is very important to me. So each day I want to learn something different and get a new perspective, and that helps me. So oftentimes I can start putting some amazing puzzle pieces together because I learned something new that is cohesive to the full idea, and that as well. So in an area of study may help you as well. So let's see where your blessings are coming in. A blessing on your intuition. You're definitely going to get these synergistic and synchronistic hits where it's like, go here, do that, listen to that, pay attention to this. And the calmer we are and the closer we are to, being our natural kind of like pure selves, we're not distracted, we're grounded, we're feeling good, we're treating each other well, we're able to map that out better. We're able to read those signs and synchronicities, but we're also looking for them. So I say that before I leave my house. Even when I'm in my house, I say I'm going to look for the synchronicities today in my life, the numbers, the energy surges, the animal activity. You're going to start to notice these things, and they're going to help you as well. And I love that she has her crystal ball right here. As I was doing some unique things with these that I saw, they make things beautifully upside down. So if you put it on near the ocean, you'll see the sand as sky, and you'll see the sky as sand. They're really wonderful and neat to use. So also, use some lovely I think one of the best things that we can do when we're starting off, when we're trying to get in touch with our intuition, is slow our heartbeat and really focus on what the question we're asking or what we want to know. Oftentimes, I like to use silver or fire with this. I'll light a single candle and I'll just gaze at the candle. I'll make the room as dark as possible and just look at the flame. That really slows my heartbeat and centers me out and grounds me. And I'll ask a question. I'll only be focused on that question, or make a wish, or set an intention. Intentions are very important. I'm setting this intention for the future. I would really like this to come about and everybody to be healthy, safe, happy, and whatnot. Oftentimes I will come and I'll direct myself immediately to do a public or private reading. My energy automatically goes up when I start to channel. It's like a purified kind of energy that just runs through me, makes me feel good. I notice nothing else. I'm not distracted. It's wonderful. And that can happen for you with lots of implements. I mean, oftentimes if you just pull out a few cards and you stare at them and you're like, what messages are coming? Ask your angels and guides for help. But I feel like your intuition is really going to be setting you up beautifully to kind of know what turns to take, being on top of that maze and seeing what's going on. Also a blessing on your health. Some of you guys are recovering from some serious things, from operations, twisted ankles, hurt wrists, all kinds of things. I feel like a lot of people are having arthritic type of problems, and you're starting to feel a little bit better. And remember, it all starts upstairs. When we feel ourselves and say out loud, I'm healing on a cellular level. My body is awesome. It's capable of great healing very rapidly. I do this too. I'm prone sometimes to terrible, I don't know why I get a toothache that then shoots up to the side of my temple and it actually makes me dizzy. Just on occasion, and I can get myself out of that like within 10 minutes. I go put clove oil on it and I talk myself out of it. I get some kind of very healthy distraction when it comes to creativity, or my family makes me laugh, and then all of a sudden it's gone. I don't sit there and I don't ruminate on it and go, and this is so terrible, this and that. That's such a waste of time. I simply just remedy as fast as I can and move on. And that's also what you're doing. You're going to be occupied with greater, bigger, better things than little distractions of niggling health issues, because you're now in this beautiful intuitive flow of what to create and how to have your best life. And I'm going to pull some fun cards. Patsy and Jelly Root. Give yourself permission to cut loose 100%. Stop the responsibility overload. I have to do this too. I have a teen that's learning to drive right now. When everybody always can infringe on our time and say, oh, but I'd like this. When we're constantly taking in other people's considerations of what they want to do, how they want to spend their time, if it also brings us in on it, that is kind of, and that's kind of encroaching on our time, especially if we have a day plan where we're just doing what we need to do for ourselves to rejuvenate, to work, to calm, and all of that. We let it know, listen, I need to cut loose. I'm not the responsibility. I'm not the, I'm not the hall monitor. I'm not telling everybody what to do. You guys got this. It's like you just kind of pull away and do something really fun for yourself for a couple hours, in the morning or the afternoon. Watch really funny programs, laugh, make a big bowl of popcorn, just go for a walk in a park, cut loose, have fun. Dancing is fantastic for this. I definitely feel like you guys probably have a really good rhythm and you like dancing and music. Also, Insectina says, do something to surprise yourself. I'll do this. I'll all of a sudden participate in something that I normally would not, but I want to. Like, I will go on impulse and that. I'm going to join that chat room. I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to learn this. I'm going to join this conference. I'm going to do whatever. The most surprising thing I did for myself was when I was not even 20, and I joined the China Support Network for what happened in Tiananmen Square, and I agreed to go into the embassy and talk to the people and do all this, and it was so crazy because I was qualified in a certain way, but not documented. It was like I definitely knew what to say, do, and compose myself and all of that. Yet, I wasn't someone who worked for the United Nations. It's like these crazy things. And I was like, yes. And I'm so happy that I did these things. I surprised myself. I say yes to something that you ordinarily wouldn't, if you're looking forward to, right? Like right now, I'm making my little dream vacation in my head to go either to Florida or somewhere with a beautiful beach house where there is also a pool, a beautiful Airbnb, and surprise my family and like have a few days there before Hagen goes back to school and do this. And that surprises me because I'm usually, I leave all that up to Ian, all the details and stuff, but this is something I want to do. So how can you surprise yourself? And your last one is worry less and create more. 100%. Guess what stops worry? Action. Guess what stops fear? Action. Move a muscle, change a thought. If you're sitting there and your head is running hog wild telling you, oh my gosh, this might happen, that, and you all of a sudden feel worried, get up and move a muscle and change a thought and be like, you know what? I'm going to start stretching and breathing and look around my house and see what I can do to become creative. Can I go work in my garden? Can I paint a picture? Can I start redecorating? What can I do that is going to be fulfilling and stop this? Because oftentimes it's inactivity through any creative outlet or endeavor in a positive way that creates fear and worry, just sitting still. I'll oftentimes just see people in restaurants or places, and I know right away what they're doing and what they're worrying about. It's crazy. They just tune out, and all of a sudden they're worried about their bills, they're worried about their health, and you're like, who's spending the time doing this? It is the most useful thing because fear stops us from accomplishing what we want. So just take that off the agenda, and you're going to be like, I'm really great. Let's get one last blessing for you. Blessing on a journey. Some of you guys are going through a beautiful, amazing, amazing spiritual journey right now. And because of these massive uploads that took place after 8/8, it can be very tiring. We're trying to replenish now. Lots of fluids, lots of rest. But also some people really are going to do a geographic. You're moving, you're going back to school. You're going to a new sort of environment, and you have a blessing on this journey that your angels are always there to care, guide, and love you. Whenever you ask for help, they are there and they're listening. So I ask for Archangels Michael's help. Every single time I get in my car, I say, Archangel Michael, please come with us and protect us from harm or any accidents. And I am so lucky because it's like, I drive often. I drive in a big city and I drive where people are crazed, and I'm very aware of what's going on, and super lucky in that regard. So always remember that all this help and all this love and all this balance is right at our fingertips when we're seeking it. And you're going to be doing just that. And, just every time you see that thought or that worry come in, just act like it's on a dry erase board and just erase it. Have some fun, cut loose, definitely do something to surprise yourself and grow. Listen to your intuition. It's going to be guiding you and helping you as much as possible. Your health is improving. Always have that optimal optimism when it comes to that, and say out loud, I am healing. I am constantly being rejuvenated and healed through my good thoughts in the universe and blessings, so on and so forth. So that's you guys. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Don't forget to press like and subscribe, and all my links are down below. If you need a private read or anything else, I get it back to you within 48 hours. And please come over on Instagram and come on the great giveaways that I'm having. This week it's a whole stack of these beautiful purple jasper bracelets. It's usually something I've created, something I've made, free reads, goddess provision boxes, whatever. And if you subscribe over here and follow me over there, you're automatically entered. So I'm going to just hit the singing bowl. I love that. It clears the energy. And just every once in a while, when I feel a lot of thoughts, it dissipates, and then I get a clear channel for our next card, which is number 3. Happy thoughts. This is one of my favorite cards because to feel happier right now, all we have to do is think of a memory or something we want to do that makes us smile. Mine is constantly just like, I love watching movies with Hagen and Ian too, because Like, they're hilarious, and they love movies so much, and just to watch their faces crack me up. I love to create a beautiful piece of jewelry and then surprise one of my clients with it. Like, if I just see them talking about a stone or something that they really like, and I'll stick it in their orders with them. Oftentimes in Etsy, when people order, especially if they're new orders, I just stick in something that goes along with what they ordered. I love to do that. I'm constantly creating, and because of that, I have a lot of inventory, and I like to gift it out as well. So that makes me feel good. That makes me happy. I've always been attracted to stones and jewelry, and especially rings. My mother always had beautiful sapphires. She always loved sapphires and amethyst, and I remember just being fascinated since I was young. And then when I started studying stones and their properties, I realized what part of my attraction was. And funnily enough, my Uncle Barry is super into them. He has a fountain on his beautiful home on his deck, and it's filled with crystals, and he goes to the Herkimer mines, and he's really into it. And I'm like, go figure. Of course he does. He's just a beautiful Renaissance man, and it's just one of those things. So think what makes you happy. Some of you mothers with toddlers, it's just that moment your toddler just curls up with you and emotes so much love and caring and trust in you. It's amazing, right? And my pets do that now, and I love it. Like, where they used to have unbelievable kung fu fighting between Winter and Poots of who can lay on my stomach or come up and climb on my chest and be closest to me. And one time they both just laid together, and I thought, this is crazy. It's a wonderful feeling, and it creates happiness. A lot of us, it's our pets. Comment down below. What is one of your happiest thoughts or memories that brings you up? Because I'm curious, and oftentimes just reading that makes me happy as well. So I'm going to have a sip of coffee, and then we're going to start. I like how the crystal ball turned red. Doesn't that look cool? I'm like obsessed with my crystal ball. Look at that. Woo! And then when it's done just the right way on that, it just turns red. Isn't that amazing? I hope this shows up on camera how I'm seeing it right now, because it's amazing. Whee! Okay, you guys. So now, happy thoughts. Let's go. Right away, too, sometimes we need to break away from our routines if it is not bringing us the happiness we want. We need to get out of the box in that. Let's see what some of our stuff is. So first are two. I love these cards. They're such feel-good cards. So Luna Lee and Blazelbear are saying, nurture yourself. It's essential to your well-being. 100%, absolutely. And oftentimes I disregard my nutritional needs. If I'm like going on a creative tear, I totally forget. And I'm like, whoa, I feel whacked out. I feel really thirsty, or I feel dizzy. It's like, hello, food and water. That's the one aspect I really need to plug into. My family, because they are so loving and caring. They're constantly just bringing me food and drinks and doing all these nice things. And when did you eat? And it's so lovely. And I really appreciate that. Because again, it's just one of those things that I'm mutable fire. I'm like, on to the next. I'm making this. I'll get to, like a crazy mad scientist. But nurturing yourself in other regards too. What are you putting into your head and heart space? Are you watching too much news? Are you watching garbage and drama and things that make you crazy? I, for one, I'll admit right away, I love Housewives of New York, and I will never stop watching it. I watch it as a kind of a case study, but also almost like a playbook on oftentimes never how to behave. All of this dilemma and drama that happens to these people is because they speak ill of one another. They criticize one another, and they compete with one another. And that's never anything we want to do with our friends, right? So it's like, one of the best ways I feel we can nurture ourselves is to allow ourselves time and say out loud, I have all the time that I need. I'm in no hurry. And again, in my other video, I was saying how I don't say I have to do this or whatever. I say, I want to go make a video. I want to go create this. Never I have to or I need to. That creates obligation. That creates a lack of choice, right? So let's say whatever we quote unquote have to do, let's say I want to do or I'm going to do. I'm going to make a video. I'm going to work. I don't have to say I have to go to work. I'm going to whatever, just these new expressions. Most importantly, when we want to get into our emotional well-being, we don't let anybody into our space that interferes with that. We don't want these drama mamas. We don't want these people that they inflict themselves basically in our lives, right? They're like, yeah, you have resources and I want them. Gimme, gimme, gimme. Basically for me, it used to be that I would lend a caring ear. And I found at my workplaces too, everybody all of a sudden was bringing me every problem they ever had, because I'm a good problem solver. I really am. I can figure it out. I have healthy detachment, and through psychology, I could find a remedy. However, that's not always fun to have an interaction with people 24/7 that are always, hey, can you solve my problem? It's not a great thing. So we have to nurture ourselves and our well-being by saying, okay, here's some boundaries. This is what I'm willing to do. This is what I'm not willing to do. You're not the gift that just keeps on giving, right? That too. Also, what the most importantly is what I'm putting in that data bank. What are my eyes seeing? What are my ears hearing? And how do I feel about each of that? And if I don't feel good and it's a low vibe or it pisses me off or it makes me agitated, I move away from that. Nature never does that to me. Nature always just fills me up and grounds me out and makes me feel solid. In fact, if I think I have to be indoors more than 24 hours, I start to get KGAF. I do not like that. I am not a four-wall person. In fact, if given a choice, if somebody said, hey, would you just like a gypsy van or wagon and just go off and go throughout Europe or go out through the Midwest, I could easily live like that. And I have lived like that in past lives. I definitely know that. I don't like the idea of restrictions or having to be inside. Even though my house is filled with mega treasures and cards and decks and things I can do, I need the outside in nature. So that's part of it. Now let's look at, poor Leonard wore a lot. Be brave enough to become who you're always meant to be. This is saying we don't sacrifice our goals and dreams to say yes to somebody else's idea of us, to a parent, to an aunt, to a grand person that's like, you need to marry this person or go into that vocation or do this and that. They're not going to be living our lives, so they really shouldn't be trying to lay this map out before us that they're not even going to be living, yet they think they should choose it for us. It's the courage to stand up to anything. A boss that owes you vacation, owes you a raise, whatever it is. We're not going in and demanding all crazy and hot-headed. We're simply stating a fact. As per my contract, I am due this upgrade. I would like to see that happen. Thank you. Just very, we don't need to incorporate all the little stinging nettles that sometimes come with interactions if we think we're owed something. Though oftentimes the time we get reactive is because we haven't spoken up and we've let something ride. And I'm guilty of this in the past too. It's like, I never really like to go in and I would just expect my higher ups at work to be doing their jobs and remember, I'm owed this vacation, I'm owed this and that. But oftentimes it's not through any kind of nastiness or whatever. It's just simply through inattention that they don't notice that. So bring things up. You're going to be able to do that for yourself. So let's see what's going on in terms of your blessings. Yeah, I just feel like your less fear is going to be in your thing. I have to do this again because I'm obsessed. Ooh. I just love that. I'm going to push this up. I'm going to try all kinds of cool photography stuff with that later too. Okay, a blessing on to shield and safeguard you. Absolutely. I feel this constantly within my life, but I also ask for it. And I do have a lot of, that's crazy. Crows are my animal totems, and they definitely bring me solace and calm. Oftentimes, if I'm really head up and I step out in the backyard, they'll start to crow and I'll immediately feel calm. But this is also saying, this is an energetic shield as well, because oftentimes when we go out in the world, there's all these energetic ties. The last conversation we had with somebody, good, bad, or indifferent, we're still thinking about it. That's an energetic tie. It can be a distraction. We want something, yet somebody else gets that. And then and that happens a lot. People, they find the love of their life before you, a friend or whatever. We don't attach any kind of animosity, jealousy, or negative energy to that. We just let it go. So this blessing is going to shield you from all of that and make you like fully comprehensive of your actions and how the next best step for you to take in everything and how you're going to derive pleasure and learning and wisdom from it, right? It's about just being accountable for our own lives and saying, we can be very protective of our heart and our head and everything if we constantly feel there is blessings around and we are taken care of. I definitely have that Fool card mentality that I have divine protection all the time. And I definitely know I do 100%. I mean, with everything that I've done and never broken a bone or had to go in the hospital for any reason except for to have my kids is pretty incredible when I think of the stuff that I've engaged in athletically wise and some seriously dangerous fun stuff, but nonetheless. Carry a journal and pen around with you too, and notice little things around you and write them down. I think they'll work as a beautiful kind of like synergistic map saying this is really here to help you. If you notice this keeps happening over and over and there's a reason why. A blessing for unity where there was once a division. So if you are having any complications within your family or relationship units with a friend or somebody where you're just not seeing eye to eye, I feel like all of a sudden that everybody's going to kind of see the dawning light, which is there can be a schism in your life forever if you allow it. But if you just simply have the grace to forgive and move on, you're going to be able to do that. And I feel like you're going to have the strength to do that, because anger is just feeling like we were hard done by somebody, but they're also feeling that way. So we have to ask ourselves from their perspective, why would they also feel that? And to open up a dialogue, right? A blessing to find the truth. Some of you guys are wondering right now about significant others or family members. You're just like, what is really the story with them? What is going on? And I feel like you're going to all of a sudden get these beautiful intuitive hits of what's really taking place. And it's going to allow for you to have more patience and love for the individual as well, because oftentimes people act out of the ordinary when they are fearful, or they think they can't measure up, or something's going on, and they can act a little strangely. And that's not to be, gawped at or poked fun at. They simply didn't have their act together at the moment. And that's important too. And a blessing to use loneliness and also bring companionship. So for some of you guys that are awaiting your soulmates, you're awaiting beautiful friendship, kindred spirits, people to support you and love you and make you feel good, and you derive a sense of hope and accomplishment and all of that, they are also coming in to let you know the beautiful person you are. And oftentimes we need that. It's fuel for us. It's fuel, and it makes us feel we have value and worth in a kind of like validation, healthy way, as opposed to negative, where we're trying to seek validation by looking uber sexy on the Insta in our bikinis and twerking and all that kind of stuff that takes place all the time, and it's like, this is your energy, and people feeling your energy and loving you for it. And, this is the most simple, purest form of connection, and you're definitely going to have that. And I'm really happy for you, group 3, because that's, for some of you guys, it's been very hard won. So that is you guys. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Don't forget to press like and subscribe, and all my links are down below. If you need a private read, I get your reading back to you within 48 hours. And come over and see me on Instagram. I do daily posts and memes, and I have contests. And thank you guys that, support me on my Etsy store and Patreon. You guys are the absolute best. And thanks again, Kimberly P, for that beautiful dragon deck. It is the cutest thing in the history of the world. If you guys didn't see my other video, it has these little cards in it, and they're so sweet. They're made out of fruits and vegetables, and they are adorable. So love and light to you. I'm going to go upload.